So I've had the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 for the major part of the month of September. It's been a device I periodically carried, and I cloned my Note 20 Ultra onto this. Here are my thoughts about this device. Why does it even exist? Who is it for? And why should anyone spend almost $2,000 or 900,000 Naira to buy this amazing and somewhat bizarre piece of tech? Hey guys, it's Fisayo here, and welcome to the review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G. This is not the 5G, this is the LTE. There's 5G versions for other markets, but we don't have 5G bands connections here. So we have the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 LTE. In this video, I'll share my pros and cons of this device, and without further ado, let's get to the video. Samsung's foray into foldables started with the first Fold. This form factor was vastly different from what we were used to in terms of phones. That was the Galaxy Fold, and next came the Galaxy Z Flip with its ultra thin glass and interesting form factor as well. The Z Fold 2 takes part of its name from both the Fold and the Z in the Z Flip. With a lot learned from the previous version, this is what Samsung came up with. Because I use the Note 20 Ultra, whenever I bring this out, it's almost as if I wish the Fold 2 should just have gotten an S Pen, but its screen is soft, it would be hard to make it work, and sharp objects might dent that screen. Samsung does protect the user, so in case of damages, they have like a 12-month warranty. In fact, the inner screen comes with a screen protector installed, but Samsung urges you not to remove it. They only give a certified person, but as we know, many courageous people on the internet have removed it, so yeah. No matter how you look at it, the Z Fold 2 or even the first Fold, or should I say foldable phones in general, are fragile phones in relative terms. First off, they are not water or dust resistant and should be used delicately, so this does come with a lot of caution signs, coupled with the fact that it's very expensive. On the other hand though, this chunky piece of smartphone is covered in Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, which is the newest Gorilla Glass, and Gorilla Glass 6 on the back. It does fit into a normal pocket, but just expect like a 50% bulge in your pocket when this is in your pocket. The hinge mechanism has improved over the Fold, the normal Fold. There's a gap, but what I like about this form factor is that it's much more sturdier than the earlier version. This one does feel much smoother and sleeker between the folds, the edges, and the fact that it's a full view display up front just makes it better. The previous iteration makes you just want to go into your phone. This, you can use it with the front alone, and you don't have to unfold it every time. It does fold at different intervals and stays, and it's actually much smoother than the previous version. In terms of color options for the Z Fold 2, you get to choose between the Mystic Black and the Mystic Bronze. Also, as a side note, you can customize your Z Fold 2 with different colors of hinges in some regions, but you might have to wait for delivery a bit. When watching video content on here, the video was cool. I noticed that when someone was beside me, they saw the crease way more than when sitting head on and looking at it directly. Of course, ultra thin glass tech hasn't gotten to the level of smoothness of a normal flat glass screen in a Fold, allegedly. However, you can't ignore the fact that this second attempt was much better than the earlier Fold. The display aspect ratio on the front 6.2-inch screen is 25:9, which can be weird. It's most likely not going to fit content being displayed on the screen. Now inside, when you unfold and you get into tablet mode, similarly, not much content is geared towards this form factor. This is a 7.6-inch screen size, and apps like Instagram look off, and some games, even Call of Duty, scale well, but you can't play it on the front cover, so there's all this stuff to take account of. However, there are many apps that are optimized, and your experience will not really be affected by that as much. Let me just put it that way. Speaking of games, and still on the topic of the display, yes, you get 120 Hz. There are many games that support it, so it's cool as well. Call of Duty was good for me, and while you might block the speakers while gaming, it doesn't really matter since it can always be turned over anytime. This is something similar to what I talked about on the earlier Fold from last year. Oh, and that 120 Hz I mentioned is an adaptive refresh rate, so it won't work on some apps as it should be, but it can be a bummer. The inside screen is capable of HDR10+ as well, and videos I watched on it were really crisp to look at. Again, because it's a Fold and it's got continuity on many of its apps, you do get to change from the inner screen. Let's say you're in an app on the inner screen, and when you close it, you can actually get that same app on the folded screen. The Z Fold 2 comes with 12 gigs of RAM, 256 GB or 512 gigs of non-expandable storage. You have a SIM slot, and Snapdragon 665 Plus in all markets. There's no Exynos version, without a doubt, you're getting one of the best smartphones money can buy, and it's peak with this device. Other things to note are that you also get Samsung's ultra-wideband, or UWB, for super fast transfers between Samsung devices in close proximity. You can just point at another Samsung device, your friend's phone, and voila, you've sent a file. You've got 4,500 milliamp hour dual battery on here, so one battery on either side, and the battery life was actually okay for me. You would save more battery with the outside screen than the inside screen because of things like HDR10, in video 120Hz refresh rate. In fact, many times I spent with this device, I spent it unfolded, and the battery has been quite good for me. While it's not a full day's use battery, with heavy use, it's able to take a long while during the day. I was able to use my phone within the day, well over through to the night, and I did find standby time to be very, very impressive on this guy. I like that launcher to the side that lets you pull up multiple apps at once. You can get up to eight apps working, and it works like a beast that it is for multitasking. Again, I wish it had come with S Pen from the Note series, but yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
It's got wireless power share, so your phone can charge another accessory, say your headphones or something. Face unlock as well is also here, and there's a side-mounted fingerprint reader, which were all fast during my test. You can also use your eSIM with a new update as well. Even DeX supports wirelessly. You can change your phone. You can make your phone a laptop basically when you connect it to a monitor. So many features. Speaking of the camera, there are a lot of helpful features baked into the folding capabilities of the Z Fold 2 in what's called flex mode. When it's folded in what I like to refer to as laptop mode, you can scroll pictures while you're in camera ready positions. You can even use your base of your phone as a stand when you want to take pictures. You move away, time it, but don't try it in Mushin. Heck, don't try it in Lagos. But I assume people who are buying it won't be in such situations, the rich gang. Still, as far as camera goes, you get three 12 megapixel cameras on the back, a normal zoom and an ultra wide camera, which perform okay. And on the front, when it's folded, we've got a 10 megapixel sensor, which is the same as the 10 megapixel sensor inside when it's unfolded. For those who asked or didn't ask, even if you registered your face on the front camera here, on the cover, it would work the same way when you open the camera inside. That's for face unlock. You can unlock it if you open it or if you close it. Selfies were okay on here. You get good selfies on this guy. In addition to flex mode, which we covered, it does let you take selfies with the rear camera, so you utilize all that sensor, and the photos I got were as good as I expected. Pictures of people on the rear camera will be very good, that's for sure. You do lose some quality in terms of sharpness when you zoom or when you're in the ultra wide mode, and in fact in the ultra wide mode, color gets a little bit lost. In terms of objects or scenery, Samsung does perform a very good job with the Fold 2 as well. Natural colors looked very pleasing, and reds popped up, really. I liked the normal background blur it has, and it's just been good overall in my usage. The same goes for greens as well, and just general landscapes. As usual, you can shoot up to 4K at 60 FPS or 30 FPS in normal and pro video mode. But for my test, 4K 60 FPS was quite smooth, while at 30 FPS, 4K wasn't as smooth as 1080p. And I found 1080p to be the sweet spot for a little bit of sharpness and smoothness, although not compared to the 4K at 60 FPS on here. Sound quality on the camera or the microphone was actually decent. And in terms of the front-facing camera, here's how it performed. Hey, what's up guys? So this is the front-facing camera video quality of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G. No, the LTE. This is the LTE version. The 5G version doesn't come to Nigeria because we obviously don't have 5G, but this is the LTE version. All the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2s have Snapdragon processors, thank God for that. Yeah, let me know what you think about the front-facing cameras, video quality, as well as the sound quality in the comment section below. So you can adjust the blur types from normal blur to this weird kind of blur to black and white blur, where everything else is black and white and you're the only one with color in the frame, and this nice looking effect. This is cool actually, like this is just dope. And the same thing also is seen on the back camera, where we have all the different levels of background blur with background effects which people might be into. These are my thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. I thought it was a very interesting phone to look into, very decent, very unique for that, even for that price tag. I think Samsung keeps pushing the envelope when it comes to tech. I'd share the sentiment of many people or many reviewers who have used this and say, if you're ever coming to the world of foldables and you didn't get the first fold, this is probably the right choice because it's refined from a first-gen product, the original Galaxy Fold, then the Galaxy Z Flip, and now the Z Fold 2. I'm sure I'm not the only one left with questions like, what's next for Samsung? What's next for foldables in general? Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. If you ever have any question at all, if you're even curious about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2, please leave a comment down below. I'll be answering all your questions as I catch them. Thank you so much for watching again. I'll see you guys in my next video. There's a huge butterfly behind my camera. I wish I had a gun. I was... Here's a butterfly going inside here. Who opened this door down? Come now. Come here. Come and die here.